10 minutes away from 9.
A little something for the weekend with Sam Hunt.
Here's a little something for the weekend. It is Sam Hunt. He may not have power, but he does have his telephone. Morning, Sam.
Wammo, how do you do?
Oh, very well. I've got power here in the Kiwi studio, though. I noticed the fluctuation as it went down, and then I think our generators must have kicked in.
Is that right? What's happened?
Well, it looks Auckland-wide. I mean, the officials are saying West Auckland to North Shore to Wellsford, but
I'm
we're
well north of Wellsford here.
Yeah.
And the power's out. So I'm actually doing all this by hand signals.
Do you think that maybe yes, indeed.
I'm doing smoke signals.
Smoke signals.
So
Yeah.
I'm doing my 10 minutes this morning by smoke signals. I hope the listeners will get the drift.
I was just wondering if the South Island has finally decided to cut the North Island free.
This could be right. This could be right. Well, overnight, a friend of mine had a baby in the South Island.
Oh.
So that's rather good. And I had a baby myself yesterday.
Did you?
In the sense
Yeah.
that the advanced copy of my new book, which is called Backroads, Charting a Poet's Life.
It's out.
Published by Craig Potton. And the advanced copy arrived yesterday, and they've done a beautiful... Look, I'll tell you what, Wammo, I don't want to... people could decide what they like about the book. I'm just delighted and very, very pleased with the job that they've done. Craig Potton as publishers, and I'll blow their bugle or blow the bugle for them because they're bloody good publishers.
Well, what do you like about it? What do you like about what they've done?
It's just perfect format for what's being said.
Okay.
It just feels right.
Is the binding nice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they've kept the price. The hardback.
Yeah.
I don't know why they do this ridiculous pricing of $49.99. Why can't they say $50? I have no idea. But it's $49.99.
That's marketing.
Oh yeah, I guess so. And so no, because they published Doubtless of mine last October, and so it's been nice for me for a while to have actually develop some sort of rapport, or relationship with your publisher, rather than that sort of standoff sort of thing that you can have,
Hard copy does feel special as well, doesn't it?
Oh no, they've done a good job. I look forward to you seeing a copy. They're on the slow boat from China because that's where they get printed. Sad that, but anyway, it's what I was going to. I don't know whether you feel on them, but I've just been reading a Peruvian poet called Cesar Vallejo. I've mentioned him before on this program. I love his work, and just because of some looking around I was doing, I came across a couple translations of a poem of his that I know, a translation from the Spanish, a sonnet, which is called Piedra Negra sobre una piedra blanca, which translates variously by various translators as black stone on a white stone, black stone on top of a white stone, black stone upon a white stone. You can take your choice.
Yeah, yeah.
Could I read you a couple of these just to have a listen?
I'd love to hear it.
This is one, I'm not so fond of this, but this is one translation. This is in the Penguin's selected poems of Cesar Vallejo. So I've got the Spanish and I was just about to turn the light on to see if I could read the bloody thing. There's no light. I'll do it by Braille. Here we go. This translation is called Black Stone on a White Stone. I shall die in Paris in heavy rain. The day is entered in my brain. I shall die in Paris, and that's a promise. Maybe some Thursday like this one in autumn. Thursday for sure, this Thursday, when I churn these verses. I've placed my arms with bad grace, and never as today have I turned with my whole load to see myself alone. Cesar Vallejo is dead. They nailed him down. Everyone did, though he did nothing. They hit him heavy with sticks and heavy with a rope. For witnesses are the Thursdays, these arm bones, the aloneness, the rain, the road.
Wow.
Now that's one translation.
Yeah.
And then I'll give you another one, and then I'll tell you the one I know that I haven't got written down because it's in my head.
So various translations of the same poem.
Same poem. Have a listen to this one. Quite different. Different take on the same thing. This one is called Black Stone on top of a white stone.
Mm.
I shall die in Paris in a rainstorm on a day I already remember. I shall die in Paris, it does not bother me, doubtless on a Thursday like today in autumn. It shall be a Thursday, because today, Thursday, as I put down these lines, I have set my shoulders to the evil. Never like today have I turned and headed my whole journey to the ways where I am alone. Cesar Valero is dead. They struck him, all of them, though he did nothing to them. They hit him hard with a stick and hard also with the end of a rope. Witnesses are the Thursdays, the shoulder bones, the loneliness, the rain, and the roads.
What didn't they like about this chap?
It's himself. Oh, yeah, well, I don't know. And now, can I tell you my version that I've carried in my head, and this is done by a great New Zealand poet, an older man now. Again, I've mentioned him on this program. He's a great poet, and in Backroads, I've got a whole chapter dedicated to him. His name is Gordon Chalice, and he, as a young man, went to Spain, a New Zealander. Well, no, I think it actually may be an English by birth. I'm not sure about that. But then, as a young man, was obviously in New Zealand, and but in Spain, and then in New Zealand. I think his first wife, Magda, was Spanish, and wonderful poet. And he translated. And when I was still at school, when I was about 15, I came across this poem, which is Gordon Chalice's translation of the poem by Cesar Valero, same poem, which he calls Black Stone upon a White Stone.
Right.
Okay, this is from memory, because this is the version I love. And I really put the other two there just to point out how I reckon a poem can be just so... Ezra Pound once said poetry was a language which cannot be translated. And he could be right. But here's what I reckon is a beautiful take on it by Gordon Chalice, translation by Gordon Chalice, poem by Cesar Valero, who incidentally was a Peruvian poet who wrote wonderful, wonderful poems. And but I wouldn't suggest the Penguin edition, because that's the first one I read you. I think it's clunky. But listen to this one. I shall die in Paris with a burst of rain on a day which I recall already certain. I shall die in Paris and I'm not disturbed, maybe on a Thursday like today of autumn. It shall be a Thursday for this Thursday that I churn these verses out. My arm bones both are aching, and more than I have ever done, I turn with all my roads to see myself forsaken. Cesar Valero is dead, all battered him, without his doing anything to them. They gave it to him hard with rope and cane, and these are the witnesses how he was flayed. The Thursdays of the weeks, the aching arms, the loneliness, the highways, and the rain. I love that.
Yeah, I'd agree with you, actually.
Would you agree with me on that?
Yeah.
I mean, I obviously put more into it in saying it because that's the version I love, but I just thinking of it just got me thinking about how important, just how absolutely important a good translation is. Stating the obvious, I know, but it was just... it just sort of, there I am. That's my lesson for the lesson for the morning. So, what's the story with the power? There,
well, I'm just seeing if there's an update. I don't think the power company knows what's going on, but it was obviously a big deal.
I think it's the Al Qaeda.
It's the terrorism finally makes its way to New Zealand. They've been threatening it for many years, of course.
Well, I'm in direct touch with the man in the cave, so just ask me.
I am going the entire area of Northland. How would you like that?
Is that what it is?
Yeah, the entire.
You think of all the freezers, that are starting to think maybe I'll start unfreezing.
Yeah. Then they were saying there was a line was tripped while maintenance was being carried out on the backup line.
Amazing. Oh well, talking to you, I'm in the loop now because I took after to school this morning and got back and picked up the phone to make sure it was working for your call, and no goes. But I've obviously got one of those phones that the ones that you plug in that don't rely on the power.
But this whole situation, of course, tests the theories of sort of chaos, because there'll be no traffic lights. How do people react?
How interesting.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Mayhem. Will people be out in the streets with torches and axes and looting?
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, maybe
not,
I'm in
though.
the wrong place.
No, I think you should hold up there, be safe.
I think it's pretty good here. We look. You have whether the lights are on or off, Wammo. You and I and the listeners. I hope you all have a very, very good weekend. I won't say a lost weekend. I could say a long weekend.
Lost in the dark.
Lost in the dark. Lost and lonely. Wammo, talk to you next week.
See ya.
See ya.
That was a little something for the weekend with Sam Hunt, only on